It's red.
That's good.
Okay, good.
We stand here today at City Hall. Inside this building, a small group makes decisions that affect our lives. They don't have to choose to make the lives of the poor miserable, but they do. They do not have to hire a police chief that is in violation of the law, but they do. They do not have to criminalize poverty, but they do. When I come here to speak to the council, as many others in this group do, we are ignored. When Verbena came to speak against the criminal hiring of Merle LePure, the city censored her from the broadcast and on their website with the help of the media. They ignored the residents crying out for justice to keep their corrupt structure in place. They conspire with large corporations to destroy our local economy, then make criminals of those they displace. They pass laws that make a basic human activity, sleeping, a crime. The way to make these people go away is to make them as uncomfortable as possible. That is the man that we just have received as our police chief. That is a quote from Merle Harpham. We can't have these officers worried about the financial consequences of their actions. That is his position on the vermin within the police department that beat human beings to death in full view of the public on the streets of Eureka. They shoot down young men in the streets, and the city takes up a collection to pay their damages. This is the same man that praised the tactic of pepper spraying peaceful demonstrators trying to save the earth, smearing irritants in the eyes of people quietly sitting exercising their constitutional rights. He was so brazen about it, he produced a film showing others how to torture demonstrators. What to do when pain techniques don't work. Do you see the common thread running through this pattern? We have become a security nation. The military-industrial complex has joined with the prison industry to turn the poor back into slaves. They send their children to private schools and turn the public school system into a feeder for the military and for the prisons. Inequality is at a point not seen since the Gilded Age, and yet the wealthy whine constantly at the burden of taxes and regulations. This narrative began with stories of the welfare queens driving Cadillac and continues with the they took our jobs against the migrant workers that come to our country. When the scare tactics fail, they resort to the police state to control the masses. They don't want you seeing poor people on the street. It is a visual reminder of the failure of the capitalist system. They don't want you to think about the fact that violent crimes have plummeted in this country and we are still building prisons. Half of the prison population is non-violent drug offenders. They know that by nature we are a compassionate and empathetic lot, we human beings. When we interact with our less fortunate brothers and sisters, we see the reality of their plight, and we will want to help them, not move them along. They have to demonize the poor as lazy parasites because they can't deal with the reality that most of the folks on the street are put there by the cruelty of their system. When workers are stripped of the protections of unions, when the disabled are denied medical care and social safety net is dismantled to pay for foreign wars and a war on drugs, and the war on drugs is used as an excuse to enslave the poor to make products for the state, we must stand together and scream out for justice. We have to demand that those that kill while wearing a uniform be fired and never allowed to work in a position of power again.
Yeah!
We have to demand that the police not get military-style weapons.
No!
We need a police chief that is a legal hire, not part of a good old war network put in place to support the criminal assault on poor people. We need a shelter that is not controlled by religious zealots, demanding that the poor give up their rights to freedom of religion or sleep on the street.
Yeah.
We cannot allow armed thugs to control our streets. We are not made safer by the police. We are made safe when we come together as a community and care for each other. The police do not protect. They come after an event has already gone bad, and they almost always make it worse. We have the right to be free of these thugs and their brutalization of all of us. I prepared these remarks because someone asked me to speak, but I want to go on a little bit more about an experience I had today while we were preparing for this event. Rebecca and I had gone to Staples to make some pamphlets to hand out, and while we were sitting there, a woman asked us what we were doing and read the pamphlet, and then she explained how the police had brutalized her that very week. She was walking down, her son is autistic, and he was behaving poorly, and the police officer thought he had the right to come up and question this woman's child on the street like it was nothing. He just assumed that it would be all right for him to interrogate a small child in the presence of the parent without asking. Later, before we finished, another person came and told us their story of how they had been robbed of their children because of lies told by the police. And it goes on and on. I spent the morning in front of the courthouse trying to put some remembrance for those people that have been killed at the hands of the police here, and there are far, far too many that have had that fate. But every day I encounter more and more people that have been brutalized just as a matter of course, and we must stop that now. Yeah. Woo!